In real life, when an experiment is done, the researcher runs trials multiple times before he can make any conclusions. In a perfect world, each trial would behave the exact same way every time. Unfortunately, this is definitely not a perfect world. So random, chance, and unaccounted for variables can come into play and make our results slightly different each time. Let's say you are testing the water pressure inside a new type of pipe, but in one of the trials, the sun happens to flare up, causing the pressure reading to be slightly different than the other trials. Luckily, random events like this are not the end of the world. One thing experimenters do to offset this random chance is to run the trial many times. If you run a trial 100 times and 99 times out of 100 it has these same results, and yet one time it does not, do you throw away the rest of the 99 results because of the off chance? Of course not. Another way researchers account for this random chance is including controls in the experiment. For example, if you are testing whether caffeine or vitamin B12 will help rats complete a maze faster, you will obviously need to run trials of rats injected with either caffeine or vitamin B12. You will also need a group of rats to run the maze that have neither caffeine nor vitamin B12. This will allow you to see how rats will run the maze under normal conditions, which include any unseen variables that you might not have accounted for. You can now compare this normal group to your other trials, not only to see if they are significant, but to see what effect random chance might have on your experiment. For example, if a couple of mice in your control group get confused and lost and therefore take a greater amount of time, then you can also expect around the same amount to get lost in your other groups as well. Knowing this, we can now ignore the one-offs in your experiments and focus just on the averages of your data. In this case, it looks like caffeine is the one that influences the results the most. Therefore, caffeine must help rats run the maze faster, and B12 vitamins not so much. The moral of the story is, it's not the end of the world if a small portion of your trials do not match the rest. If the majority of your data shows a trend, then you don't throw that trend away based off of a one-off trial.